Time management, to me, there's two directions of looking at it, you see. One is from the typical manufacturer who probably, like I say, that they are selling hope, right, by giving some support because it's not the manufacturer actually bearing the risk of the cost, you see, and the operation. Because as you see the presentation, there's so many factors affected, you see, right? And on the other angle is like us, we are actually outsourced, become a user, but it will be more difficult than a fleet owner, mainly because we don't control the fleet, we don't control the movement of the fleet, I mean the trucks, the driver, the mechanism of the all the conditions, you see. So we are actually taking a high risk, right? And the purpose is only, number one, in tires, safety is the most concern. But safety, it also means you bring down the cost because you extend the life of the tires, you see? No matter it's a new tire or it's a retread tire, you see? Right. So the role of the tire management is how we manage the movement of the tires. Tire management services, unlike in Europe, is a real services that you charge extra, right? But on this side, the wastage in Europe is less, right? Due to many conditions. One of it is the road hazard is much better, less than the Asian country, right? In Asia, there's a room, right? So of course, tire management for the fleet owner here, they're looking for cheaper and less headache. But often that the services that we provided are not really appreciated, you see. So it's often the operation guy will still perceive it as a trading model, you see. Right? So automatically, it will still come back to this transitional problem. This is why we call it a cultural cost, right? Yeah. Well, it helps a lot. If somebody is serious to adopt to the IT, probably will save at least 1/3 of the tire cost. Yes, 1/3 of the total tire cost today. Okay. Yeah, by using all the IT gadgets, you see. Number one is about you control the tire movement. Right? We have the biggest problem in Asia part is about missing tire. Oh. Yeah, the missing tire can be in depot and it could be at the roadside during the breakdown services. Okay. Right? So with all this tracking of tires, right? So you could in better control of the movement before even tire perform, right? So it's about the tire movement. Today in Asia, is the concept is too many choices that makes the owner confused. Okay. On one side, they know the cheap may not be good. On the other side, they also know the best tire. But they also know that they could not manage, right, to fully utilize the high-end tires, you see. Okay. So in between, there's too many choices, hundreds of it. Okay. So if you were to communicate with the owner, they sound very logical, but after, when it comes to purchasing, it can be emotional also. Okay. When you talk about emotional, it will judge by feeling of trust, which is very much based on the relationship again. Yes. So logical and emotional are always confused. All right. Yeah, infrastructure is rather expensive. You need a volume, you see, right? So to develop, I think is either you have the very big funding, plus experience and know-how to create the infrastructure, or you can work through some organization that individually can specialize into a certain part of the infrastructure. And you still need IT to coordinate. Otherwise, often there's a communication confusion, you see. Then the IT could set all the, what you call, parameter, and you will just follow the parameter accordingly, you see, right? So either a big funding or by organization. Time management, if you talk about it relate to our industry, they also relate to reducing the usage, you retract. Okay. The recycle is another total different part, you see, okay. Right? So it's about reducing, it's about management, you see, both new and retract. then you need a reasonable, good technology casing, right? To have a big player in the market, so that the whole thing then only could turn, you see. Otherwise, there's a big wastage, you see, right? If you keep on going to the what you call low-end tires, you see, right? Of course, CPK depends on operation, you see, and application. Does not mean the best one will be the lowest, because it's only selling hope, right? Whereby the vehicle's condition and the operation often give you a lot of headache, you see, that we would not be able to sustain it, you see, right? So, sort of tailor-made, but maybe a consultant with a lot of big data could give some kind of nearest advice to an individual fleet, which is the best combination to be used, you see. If you want to go further, you can even go to the position of the vehicle by application, you see. Well, often the, what you call, almost none of the fleet have one consistent model of the truck and a consistent road, right? These two before we talk about the driver, you see, right? So it's a tailor-made, right? So it depends on how you break it down, you see, to which extent, you see. Retrading sometimes often is quite confused that on one side, you need to survive for a factory, right? Depending on the model, you still need a critical mass, right? And the critical mass that if you started with the general retrading standard, right? Of course, it's good that you keep on improving in quality, right? But each time when improving quality, it does involve in investment. That means you are adding up a bigger volume requirement to sustain, you see, right? So, but the market of various segments, I give an extreme that a fuel tanker and off-road construction truck is a totally different. So, there's no point to produce a top quality retread tire to serve the off-road construction. But how do you manage a factory that can do so many grades? If you break it down, it could be 10, 20, or 30 grades, you see, right? But is it possible? Because we have a model that has been proven that it's possible, right? It's a matter of how you organize a factory, but you need IT, and you need all the parameters in every flow, right? But nobody could remember all this so-called specification at the end, you see? So you need the IT, yeah, to track it, right? In a way, the what you call the retrading factory, right? 50% eventually will be run by software, which finally will go for AI. Then it's just like you keep on building the parameter in, right? With all the mass data.